So let's just see. I'm going to put up the topics just to make sure. Okay, and I hope the dates align. Hopefully the schedule doesn't change again. But Karl Marx and Marxist theory is Friday, September 25th. That's Amy and Chelsea, and then Jason and Harsimran. And then Joseph Stalin is Tuesday, September 29th, Jasmine and Gabriel, and then Leba and Maya Carrier. And then Leon Trotsky is Friday, October 2nd, Tasia and Kian. And then Alan and Sudharsan. And then George Orwell is Tuesday, October 6th, Smegdeep and Aiden, and then Japneet and Samir. And then the Bolshevik Revolution is Wednesday, October 7th. It's Adrian and Koa, and then Sarah and Maya. And the collapse of communist rule in Russia is Friday, October 9th, and it's Gian and Ozazi. Okay, so everyone's clear on what they're doing and when they're presenting? Okay, now I want to review the rubric with you, okay? I posted it on Google Classroom. Okay, so here we go. So first of all is the works cited. Today I'm going to review with you how to format a works cited. So your works cited is worth 10 marks. It should be the last page of your presentation, okay? And you're going to have to keep it on the screen for a couple of minutes that I can mark it. So knowledge is worth 10 marks, and that is that the works cited is properly formatted and free of errors. Then thinking, that's the most marks, and that is worth 40 marks. So the information is detailed and accurate. The scope of the topic is fully addressed, okay? So you have to have detailed notes, lots of information, and you have to cover the whole scope of the topic. Communication. Normally, this would be things like eye contact and all that kind of stuff, but since it's online, I'm going to mark that you speak in a loud, clear voice and that your pace is effective and easy to follow. Okay, so you're not speaking too fast, for example. And then that your presentation is well organized. So organization follows a thoughtful plan and sequence. Organization enhances comprehension, and that you've presented the material in a way that enhances the audience's understanding of your topic. Okay? And application is the multimedia piece. It is relevant and interesting, and it serves to enhance the audience's understanding of the topic. That is the point of the multimedia piece. It is to further our understanding and develop our understanding of the topic. Okay, and I'm going to review with you the works cited, okay? And I think I posted this on Google Classroom as well, but it's really important that you learn how to do a works cited and that you do an accurate works cited. So you're going to be doing works cited throughout your educational career, certainly this year in grade 12, and a lot of works cited in university. Okay, as you are researching, be sure to record the author of the work. Now, whether that is a book, which you're probably not going to be using, or a website, if there is an author, make sure that you record the author's first and last name, the title of the work. So if it's an article, then there should be two things you need to record. One is the title of the article, and two is the title of the website. The URL, the publishing company, the date published, or if it's online, it's the date last updated, and the date that you accessed the information. All right, when you are creating your works cited, arrange it alphabetically by the first item in the entry. Okay, so if there is an author, then the author's last name is what you're going to use to alphabetize. If there is no author, then it is the first letter in the title of the article. Okay, if there's no author listed or you are citing a film, start with the title. The first line of each entry starts at the margin. Second and subsequent lines are indented. Okay, so each entry, the first line starts at the margin, the second line, third line are indented. This allows the author's name or title to stand out because this is what's included in your in-text citation. Now, you're not doing in-text citations for this particular assignment. Novel entries include author, last name, comma, first name, period, and all the punctuation has to be exact. Title of the work in italics, period, publishing company, comma, year of publication in that order. Website entries include the author, last name, comma, first name, period, the title of the article in quotation marks, period, the title of the website, italicized, comma, the publisher or sponsoring organization, if there is one, comma, the date of publication or last modified, comma, the URL, and then the access date in that order. Note, if one of the required pieces of information is not listed, omit it and move on to the next required item. So for example, if you're doing an article from a website and there is no author, okay, then you skip the author's name and you move to the next item, which is the title of the article. Consult the Seneca Library's website for other text types. This Seneca Library's website is amazing, okay? Every type of work you can think of is listed there, and it shows you how to cite it. And it doesn't only have MLA, it also has APA. So if you're doing science assignments, for example, you can also use it for APA. So make sure that you check out the Seneca Library's website because it is an amazing resource for helping you format your works cited. Review the exemplar below to ensure that you've done everything correctly. So here's an exemplar. So the first one is a book. Last name, Anderson, comma, first name, Lori Hulse, period. The book title is italicized, speak, period. Then the publishing company, R.R. Donnelly and Sons Company, comma, publication date, 1999, period. The other one is a short story. So if it's like one chapter in a book, okay, then this is how you would do it. Author, Hunter, comma, Evan, period. Title of the chapter or short story in quotation marks on the sidewalk bleeding. And then the title of the bigger book in italics, Crossroads, comma. If you have an editor, okay, this is how you do it. You write edited by, and then instead of last name, first name, oh no, it is last name, first name, Dom Solani. And then if you have two editors, and then it's first name, last name, okay? And then Gage Education Publishing Company, the publisher, the publishing date, and the page numbers. Now, this is the one that's probably more what you're looking for, something from a website. So first is the title of the article in quotation marks. So in this case, it's teen depression, and then period, and then the name of the website, and the italicized. In this case, it's Mayo Clinic, period. Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research, comma, and then the date that it was updated, July 6th, 2016. Then the URL, and that is underlined. And then you write accessed, and then you write the date that you accessed the website. So April 24th, 2017. Here's another example. Start with the title of the article, in quotation marks, sexual assault statistics in Canada, and then the website, sexassault.ca, then the URL, and then this one didn't have an updated date, so we went to the access date. You write the word accessed and then the date. Okay? Are there any questions about formatting a works cited? Any questions about formatting a works cited? Okay, good. So make sure that your works cited are accurate. Now, I see that someone else joined, so I got to do attendance. Okay, let's see. Was it Leba?
Yeah,
You're here?
yeah,
Okay, Leba, class starts at 1 o'clock, my dear. Tasia, are you here? No? And Megdeep? Megdeep? Oh, Megdeep. Yeah, class starts at 1 o'clock, my dear. Okay, so now we only have one absent. All right, guys, today we're going to start Animal Farm. So I'm going to put up a little introductory note, and I want you to copy it. And I'm going to give you some time to copy the note, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, so copy this note, please. Okay, so Animal Farm is a fable that satirizes the communist revolution in Russia. Okay, in order to understand that sentence, you need to know what a fable is and what a satire is. So a fable is a tale about animals who are personified and therefore behave as though they were humans. The underlying purpose of a fable is to teach a lesson or moral. So in the book Animal Farm, all of the characters are farm animals. And they live on a farm called Manor Farm. And even though they are animals, they all have very human personalities and human characteristics. And, they can talk and think and they can do a lot of things that human beings can do. Okay, so you can sort of relate to them because they have all these human characteristics. And a satire is a thinly disguised ridicule of a corrupt institution, such as The Simpsons. That show is a satire about American society and about the American family. Okay. So Animal Farm ridicules the communist revolution in Russia and the system of government set up as a result of the revolution. So when the revolution first occurred, they had all of these altruistic ideologies and, all these altruistic changes that they were going to make to the Russian society. But unfortunately, the wrong man came into power, Joseph Stalin, and instead of being this wonderful communist society where everyone was equal and there were no classes, it became a dictatorship, which he used fear and terror, basically, to rule the people. And we have communism. It's a political theory derived from Karl Marx, from 1818 to 1883, advocating the violent overthrow of the capitalist class by the working class. Once this occurs, a political and economic system will be established that forbids the owning of private property. All property, therefore, will be publicly owned, but cared for by the government. Okay? So they do not believe in any private property, such as private businesses, for example. They believed in everyone owning everything. So no private ownership, because they wanted to do away with the capitalist class. We live in a capitalist society, and it's all based on private ownership. And not only will property be publicly owned, but each person will work and be paid according to his or her needs and abilities. In the end, the ideal of a classless society will be realized. So that was the ultimate goal, and we're going to see that in the animals as well. Okay, the ultimate goal was to have a classless society where everyone is equal. So you don't have an upper class, a middle class, a lower class, or a working class. Everyone is the same. And that was the ultimate goal. Are you guys finished presenting? Sorry, are you guys finished taking the note? You still can you still see it? Oh, good. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to finish taking the note. It's different when you're in class and I can see when you're done. Okay, now we have 23 people. Tasia, are you here? Oh no, because it counts me. I forgot. It counts me, so that's 23 because we have 22 people in our class. You guys done? Are you done? Okay. Looks like most people are saying yes. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to put up a note on the characters in Animal Farm. You don't have to copy this one. Okay, I'm just going to go through the characters. So a little introduction. So there are quite a few characters, and a lot of them represent real people in the Russian Revolution. Okay, that's why it's important for you guys to do those topics so that you can better understand the book. So we have Old Major. He's a greatly respected old boar, which means like an old pig, whose vision of a better life and call for rebellion are the inspiration for the founding of Animal Farm. So he's the one who calls the animals to revolt against their owner, okay? And he's the one who comes up with the principles of what is called animalism. Animalism, communism, okay? They're supposed to be the same. He comes up with the principles of animalism. And unfortunately, he dies before the revolution, but the animals carry on his vision and they revolt against their owner and they take over the farm. Then we have Snowball. He's a young boar whose persuasive speech, organizational ability, and intelligent plans make him a contender for the leadership of Animal Farm. Okay, so Snowball is a good pig, and he was a true believer in animalism, and he represents Leon Trotsky in the Russian Revolution. Now, Leon Trotsky and Joseph Stalin were both in the running for leader of Russia at the time of the revolution. Now, Leon Trotsky, he was a true believer in Marxism, and he had all of these noble plans for Russia and the people of Russia. And he wanted to make Russian society better and to improve life for everyone, just like Snowball. Snowball's the one who came up with great ideas. He wanted to make everyone equal. So, for example, he wanted to educate all the animals and teach them how to read and write. And then you had Joseph Stalin, who was the opposite of Leon Trotsky, and he just wanted to be a dictator, and he allowed his greed for power and his greed for money get in the way. And rather than establishing a true Marxist society, he established a dictatorship. So that's Napoleon, another young boor whose ambition and direct approach to gaining power caused him to win the struggle for leadership of Animal Farm, just like Joseph Stalin is the one who won the struggle for leadership of Russia. And Napoleon is greedy and evil and cruel, just like Joseph Stalin was greedy and evil and cruel. Then we have Boxer. You're all going to like Boxer. He's a cart horse of immense strength, great loyalty, and small intelligence. So he's very small, he's very strong, but he's not very bright, okay? But he's very loyal to Napoleon. And because he's not very bright, he doesn't see when he and the other animals are being taken advantage of. We have Clover, a mare or horse, a female horse, whose motherly concern for Boxer and the other animals makes her a source of personal strength for all. Benjamin, he's a donkey who is skeptical about social change and human nature. Moses, Benjamin is one of the only animals who sees what's really going on and who sees that animalism has failed and that really they're living in a dictatorship. Moses is a raven who regales the animals with stories about the better life to come on Sugar Candy Mountain, which is like heaven for animals, basically. Molly is a mare or female horse whose frivolous attitude and vanity eventually caused her to leave Animal Farm. So Molly just cares about herself. She doesn't care about the collective good. So she'll have none of what's happening on Animal Farm and the sacrifices that they have to make. So she takes off to a neighboring farm. Squealer, a fast-talking porker who is used by Napoleon as chief henchman and propagandist. Okay, so Squealer is the one who goes around convincing the animals of all of Napoleon's lies, and he basically represents propaganda in Russia. Jones is the human owner of Manor Farm who is driven from his property by the animals. Frederick and Pilkington are neighboring farmers, and they hate each other and are always fighting. The dogs, so Napoleon takes a group of puppies and he raises them to be basically his guards, okay? Bodyguards are in secret police. A group of fierce hounds trained by Napoleon from puppyhood to serve as his bodyguards and secret police. They represent the KGB in Russia. And on the farm, they got the animals to obey all of Napoleon's mandates by instilling fear in them. They were all afraid of the dogs. The cat is an individualist who votes with both sides of any question but supports neither. The sheep, the uneducated masses who can or will grasp only oversimplified principles, but whom Napoleon finds useful for bleeding slogans. So the sheep are really dumb. They believe everything Napoleon says, and they go around the farm repeating his slogans. Mr. Whymper is a sly human attorney hired as an agent or middleman for transactions between Animal Farm and humans. And Muriel is a white goat who has learned to read quite well. Okay, I have one more note, and I need you to copy that note. Okay? Everyone got that? So you're going to copy this note. Okay, guys, I'm just going to review the note with you. So, one of the main themes in the novel is the theme of utopia versus dystopia. So, a utopia is any state, condition, or place of ideal perfection. For example, the Garden of Eden prior to the Apple incident would be considered utopia. It was a place of beauty, calm, and most importantly, an absence of sin. Dystopia is an imperfect world or condition. The Garden of Eden after the Apple incident would be considered a dystopia as fear, chaos, and sin had entered the once perfect world. Animal Farm is a novel which shows how humankind takes a perfect world and destroys it through greed, cruelty, and evil. The novel is a satire of the Russian Revolution and its failure. The animals on Manor Farm revolt against their owner and take over the farm. They attempt to set up a utopian society where everyone is free and equal. However, soon enough, greed and evil take over, and the system that they set up ends up being even more corrupt than it was before the revolution. So when the animals took over the farm, just like when the Bolsheviks took over Russia, because the system of government that was set up before the Bolsheviks took over was they had a king, Tsar Nicholas II, okay? And he was the ruler of Russia. And he was also, he was not necessarily corrupt, but he was a weak and poor ruler. And they had a capitalist system. So when the Bolsheviks took over, they had an opportunity to create this brand new society. And this, what they wanted was this utopian society. And this is also what faces the animals when they take over Manor Farm. They revolt against their owner and they take over the farm, and they have an opportunity to create their own society, this vision of utopia as evidenced by Old Major and his vision of animalism. Okay, so at first they do try to create a utopian society. But just like in the revolution or in the Russian Revolution, humankind's capacity for evil gets in the way, okay? Because to have a truly Marxist society, it requires everyone to be good and everyone to look out for the common good. But unfortunately, a lot of humans are greedy and cruel, just like Joseph Stalin in the Russian Revolution and Napoleon in the book. So greed and cruelty takes over. And in the end, what they ended up with was a dystopia and a system of government that was worse than what they originally had before the revolution. So your assignment or your activity is imagine you are the animals creating your own utopian society. So you should be taking notes right now because I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So first of all, you're going to create a constitution that has at least 5 fundamental rights for your people, okay? So for example, freedom of speech could be a fundamental right. The freedom to follow whatever religion you want could be a fundamental right, okay? So 5 fundamental rights for your people. And then you're going to create 6 laws that make up the social and political structures that will govern your society, okay? So you can have, for example, 3 social and 3 political. Or you can have 4 and 2, it's up to you. So for example, social things include things like education, okay? So, you know, free education, for example, that would be a social law or rule. You know, the age at which you can vote would be a social rule. The age at which you can drive, the age at which you can drink, those are all social rules. If you're going to have things like a welfare system, that's a social rule. Then there are political structures. So, for example, is your society going to be a democracy? Are you going to have a communist society? Are you going to have one main leader, like in Canada, where we have a prime minister? Or you can have a group of people who lead? How is your leader going to be chosen? Is it going to be by a vote? Okay, so things like that make up the political structures that govern your society. Now, just a second. Everyone is going to present their utopian society on, I will see you again online on Tuesday. Okay, and I'm just going to be picking people at random. So you had better have your homework done. First of all, are there any questions about that activity? Pretty straightforward. Any questions? Okay. And also for homework, you are going to read chapter 1 of Animal Farm. Okay, it's a short chapter, and you're going to answer the study questions. We are also going to be taking up the study questions online. Again, I'm just going to be picking people at random, so you better have your study questions done. That's how I'm going to be checking your homework. Since you're not in class for me to go around to check your homework, I'm just going to be picking people at random, and you'll be answering the questions, okay? So as long as you have your microphone on, when I call your name, you will be answering questions. Hold on a second, I've got some chats here. Okay, no, I was wrong. There's nothing in the chat. Okay, are there any questions about your homework? Okay, so chapter 1 of Animal Farm. I think the next time I see you is Tuesday, and as well as your utopian society. Well, Sudharsan, there's nothing I can do about that. Try to see if you can find the book online. Okay, you weren't in class for me to assign you the book. So if you can't start reading the book, then when you two come back to class, you're gonna have to get caught up. Okay, and obviously I'll give you some time for that. Okay. Okay. All right. Sound good, guys? All right. You can leave the chat now unless you have any more questions. Bye, guys.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, Matt. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Miss.
Yeah.
Do we have to do the study questions for the Shakespeare?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Miss, I had a question. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Are we allowed to use the examples you gave for the utopian
Yeah.
assignment?
Those were to help you. Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye, Miss.
Okay. You're welcome.
Is there study questions for Animal Farm as well?
Yeah, they're on Classroom.
So we do for Animal Farm and Shakespeare, right?
Yes.
And then we do the what's it called? These questions with the note.
The Utopian Society. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye, Miss.
No problem. Bye.